Now on UK Gold, we're off to Birmingham, where Paul Ross showed a rather different side of his character.
Sid said, could you sign that for me?
Has he gone lame or something?
What?
Can't get here himself?
Oh, no.
So what's his trouble, then? He's been keeping clear of me all morning.
I don't know.
Benny, this business you're setting up...
We wants to.
Yeah, but do you?
Of course I do. I mean, it's great.
Well, it might sound great, but there's a hell of a lot at risk.
Well, I don't care.
Well, you should.
Well, Sid was said...
Go on.
Sid said that if you and Mr. Lamont want us to do it for you, then it must be a good idea.
That doesn't follow.
Why not?
We could stand a loss. We could write it off against tax. You couldn't.
Well, I don't understand what you mean by that.
Just take it from me. Huh?
Look, all I know is that it's a good idea and we want to make it work.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Oh, good, he says.
Well, it's a lovely morning. The sun is shining bright, the birds are singing, and the little girl who brought in my breakfast tray, her figure was just neat enough to get my heart beating for the day. So what more could you ask?
A fully staffed garage?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, thank you very much. 3 resignations in one evening, that's some going.
Well, it's all his fault. Old Moneybags here. You want to hang on to your money, son? Otherwise, you might all see it go off in a puff of smoke.
Reg, Benny inherited 25,000.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, me dad left it to me, but I ain't liked having it none.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't worry, lad. I don't think you'll have it for very long.
Oh, good.
However, it does put a slightly different complexion on things, doesn't it?
Complexion?
You have ample funding. Enough money to back it.
Yeah?
Yeah. And if I were you, lad, I would stand back and take a long, hard think about it.
But I don't anymore.
Don't what?
What, think about it? I used to, when I first had it, I used to think about it all the time. But it was nothing but bother. So now I just don't think. Could I take that back to Sid then?
Yes, you do that, Benny. Oh, come on, it's not funny.
What?
The situation.
Oh, not at the moment, no. But it's not going to stay like that, is it?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Banks. You cannot come and go as you please. There is no longer a place for you here. And now, if you'll excuse me.
Hello, Glenda. We've been trying to get your job back.
He won't even listen. Isn't there anything I can do, Mrs. Harvey? I don't mind what it is, in the cafeteria even.
Well, we do need some extra help in the kitchen and in the bar, but I mean, it seems a waste with all your experience. Look, just hang around a bit. I'll see what I can do. Mr. Paul.
Morning.
She really is a very good waitress, you know. Knows all the customers, knows her way around. Pretty face, charming smile, great asset.
Her discipline is appalling.
It's not the sort of thing that's likely to happen more than once, is it? And how's the temporary replacement doing?
Incredibly badly, and you know it. Mrs. Banks.
Yes, Mr. Paul?
After consideration, I have decided to give you another chance.
Oh, thank you.
But remember, you will come back on duty tomorrow evening at 6:30, and not one more slip, late arrival or absence from duty.
Oh, no, of course not.
Very well.
Thank you. Bye.
You're quite right. She does have a charming smile.
You had no intention of sacking her, had you?
Would I be such a fool? She's a very good waitress. Besides, I spent much of my good time training her to my ways.
Why put her through all that? Humiliate her like that? You're a sadistic old...
There has to be a time of penance. I was going to give her until tomorrow.
Well, by tomorrow, she could be working at Fairlawns.
Oh, I doubt that. There are no vacancies at Fairlawns. Apart from that, she's a good little girl at heart. And good little girls are very, very loyal. Well, Mrs. Harvey, is there anything else I can do for you?
Oh, no, I must get back to the office. Oh.
Well, that's what he said anyway.
Well, you mustn't let him brainwash you, old son.
Well, it's shaking them all right.
What else?
I noticed this.
It's bound to, innit? I can still see that face now, that sickly grin. Trying to pretend it didn't worry him any. It didn't fool me. And Sharon, she was all on edge, yeah.
Yeah, shame that, isn't it?
What is?
Miss Sharon? I mean, she's been really good to us.
That's the way things go.
Look, ain't we got enough room to take her with us?
You're crazy.
She'd want to wear the CO's uniform, wouldn't she? Well, we can't go to that, money-wise, anyway.
Well, money, that reminds me. I've got a couple of hundred statuettes nobody knows about. They'll see me through the first month or so. You're all right.
Yeah.
That leaves Sid.
I'll get by, don't worry.
Huh?
Tighten me belt, won't I? Give up the booze and the GGs. Be the makers of me, there.
It's a funny thing. If I still had Trina and little Benji, I wouldn't be able to look at this.
What's that?
What they call responsibilities, mate.
Well, and now you ain't got any?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I think I've found a discrepancy in the requisitions, or should I say that there isn't one at all, really. I've done the breakdown, but it could do with another check, Mrs. Hamilton.
I'll go over it this afternoon, then.
I tried to spare you last night. Richard Lloyd's standing Gina Moran dinner just a table or two away from you.
I'm quite used to seeing them together.
Could have been only his usual style, do you think?
Usual style?
Girls too young for him, far too young. At the casino, does he habitually make off with the youngest punters?
What's your interest, Paul?
Human nature always interested me. Leopards that don't change spots, for instance. The inability of some men to be their age.
And which of us do you think should rescue Georgina Moran from the unspot-changing leopard?
Good morning, David.
Morning.
Well, I'd better get back to the restaurant.
Was he bothering you?
No, he was fishing on his own account for once. I think the poor man's fallen in love.
What?
With Georgina Moran. I was really rather sorry for him last night. There he was, in love, having to serve dinner to the object of his affections, and she was enjoying, rather cruelly enjoying, the attentions of another man.
Well, at least he knows where the object of his affections is.
Motel's not looking for another waitress, I suppose. I've had experience.
Yeah, but you won't be round here long enough to take another job, will you?
Well, I wouldn't mind hanging about just for another couple of weeks till May's back on her feet.
Well, if you are serious, Mrs. Harvey said they were looking for somebody for the kitchen. Or the bar, washing glasses, clearing up, you know.
Oh, that sounds better. Right, I'll have a go. Who do I ask? That Mr. Paul you're on about?
No, I hate to disappoint you. It's Sherry McPhee.
All right, I'll get round there now.
Listen, have a word with Mrs. Harvey first.
OK, thanks, Glenn. I'll see you, Kev.
Yeah, hey, and watch out for that head waiter. I've heard he's talent scout for half of Saudi Arabia.
Oh, I can't wait.
No, you shouldn't have much to do with him if you're lucky. But if he does take you on and he catches you chatting or hanging around, you know all about it.
Oh, as bad as that?
Yeah, should have heard him this morning. One more slip, Mrs. Banks. One late arrival. One absence from duty.
Oh, he's going to be right chuffed with you when you're going for this baby then, isn't he?
What do you mean?
You'll be asking for time off every other week, wouldn't you? Ta-ra!
Yes,
She's right, you know.
What?
What about the baby? Maybe I should have mentioned it, you know, before I asked for my job back.
You wouldn't be starting tomorrow, would you?
Well, that's true. We do need the money. How much have we got in the bank?
Enough, I suppose, now the house has fallen through. But we haven't got a clue what it's going to cost, have we? Still, if it's not too much over the top, I dare say we'll swing it, even if you have to go to the bank for a sub.
Won't be that much. There's the National Health.
What? You're not going to get anything off the National Health, love. Blimey, and they're closing places down, left, right and centre. No, if they can't get cash for essentials like kidney machines, scanners for cancer patients, where else do you think they're going to give us? No, if we're going for this baby, we're on our own, all the way.
Well, I don't care how much it costs, do you?
Not in money, no.
Oh, it just starts the day off nicely. Quick dash for the bus stop.
Bit of a soaking, squelching feet, tatty hair, wondering what Mr. Paul's doing and which side of the bed he got out of, and which bed it was and whose bed it was, and then on to my coal trolley and all those wonderful customers.
Why do you put up with it, eh?
Because I'm a glutton for punishment, that's why.
Well, if my old man phones through for a meal in his chalet, you let somebody else deliver it.
Why?
He's still a bit light on his feet.
Oh, what a terrible thing to say about your dad.
You have been warned.
Well, actually, they were talking about him in reception.
See, what I tell you?
No, not about that. About his chalet.
Why, is there any problem
Well, apparently he hasn't told them when he's going to leave it.
there? Is that the usual thing, is it?
Well, yes, I'd like to know as soon as posh, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Will you miss him, will you?
What?
Your dad, when he goes back to Malta.
Oh, yeah, sure. Of course I will.
They're out of eggs. Eggs? Who's out of eggs?
Mrs. Hubbard and the shop. I mean, eggs are basic, aren't they?
Well, why didn't you say I'd got some for you? I see it's still raining.
Observant little soul, aren't you? You don't expect grocers to run out of basics, do you? So, how do you fancy a Spanish omelette with lots and lots of veg and no eggs?
From your fair hand.
Excuse me.
Yes, dear.
Where's your brolly?
It's in the hall, dripping.
Can I borrow it?
Yeah, where are you off to?
I'm just off to have a wonderful time. See you. Bye.
Of course. She's on a late shift, isn't she? Right, now.
Do you talk to her about me and Dad?
Not really. Why?
She was asking about him going back to Malta. And whether or not I'd miss him.
So?
So it seemed a funny thing to ask.
Aren't you allowed to miss your dad?
Of course you are. Just doesn't apply to me, that's all.
What exactly are you up to?
What?
There's something, I know there is.
Rubbish.
Easy dismissals again?
It's pretty about the eggs, isn't it? Tell you what, shall we eat out?
Why can't you tell me?
Chinese takeaway?
What is so secret?
It's between me and him. Full stop.
So I don't even get a look in then, eh? That should be okay, Iris, actually. Oh, David, you remember Iris?
Unforgettable.
Yes, well, now Mr. Ross has taken on Glenda. Iris is going to help us out in the kitchen and maybe in the bar.
Really?
Would you mind just waiting outside? I'll be with you in a minute.
You have got to be joking.
She's a reformed character. Oh, not having a proper meal again tonight?
Yes, quite proper, thank you.
Mr. Hunter, will Mrs. Hunter be eating in here or in the restaurant when she comes?
Mrs. Hunter won't be coming back tonight.
Oh, when will she be back then?
No fixed date yet.
Date? Why, has she gone
Diane, I'm just trying to persuade David to take on Iris again.
Good luck.
I thought it was generally understood that Barbara wasn't away just for the night.
Well, it's a tricky situation. I mean, she's concerned.
Yes, well, discourage that sort of concern, will you? I don't want to be an object of concern to anyone, except my wife.
It's something you're going to have to put up with if it goes on any longer. Look, did she ring? Oh, I thought perhaps she might have rung you when she got to London.
Either I'm going to have this supper or this conversation. The two don't go together, and of the two, I would prefer the supper.
Let me ring her.
You're keeping Iris waiting.
She'll be there. But Barbara won't be if you keep her waiting. Oh, there you are, Alice. It's all right. Mr. Hunter's quite happy, really, for you to work here.
Oh, thanks.
Mind you, I'm going to have to throw you in at the deep end. It's the bowling club due tomorrow night. We're going to need all the help we can get.
Oh, that's all right. I'm used to it.
We'll probably need you actually more on the bar than on the kitchen, actually. Oh, Mr. Paul, could you spare a minute?
Yes, of course.
This is Iris Scott. She's going to be helping us out for a few weeks.
Ah.
How do you do, sir?
How do you do?
Yes, this is Mr. Paul. He's the restaurant manager. Of course, you won't be working directly under him, but no doubt your paths will cross from time to time.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Right. Well, I'll leave you to it. Good night.
Good night, Mrs. Harvey.
Night, Mrs. Harvey, and thanks.
Well, Miss Scott, so you are to help us in the bar and the kitchen, am I right?
That's right. Mrs. Harvey did explain what would be expected.
Well, not quite, I imagine.
Sorry?
She will have given you a list of your duties, no doubt. But perhaps you'll permit me a word or two of good advice.
Oh, yes.
As the manager of the restaurant here, I expect a great deal of my staff, the highest of standards.
Yes,
This applies not only to those who work directly under my personal guidance, but also to the chalet and bar personnel. An overall impression of quiet, unobtrusive efficiency is what our clients expect.
I'll do my
Now,
best.
that means no loitering in corridors, no chatting whilst on duty, and above all, absolute confidentiality. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
Good. Then we should get on admirably if ever, as Mrs. Harvey put it, our paths should cross.
Oh,
which
yes.
I sincerely hope they will not, since your domain will remain the kitchen.
Oh, and the bar, sir.
And the bar, of course. Good.
Well, I didn't get there. You're going to be broody. Come on. Sit yourself down.
Don't fuss, I'm all right.
I'm not fussing. Drink?
Yes.
So, off you went, changed your mind, and back you came. Well, David isn't going to expect that.
He's still not expecting it.
Oh, what? You mean you came straight here? You haven't been into Crossroads?
You mean I'm not acceptable here without reporting to my husband first?
Oh, of course you are. But when are you, as you put it, going to report to him? Oh, come on, Barbara. I think you've made your point. I think, in fact, you've driven it right through him. Put him out of his misery.
Did he try to ring me?
Look, are you going to stay for supper with me tonight?
Jill, did he try to ring me?
Well, how could he ring you if you weren't in London?
I'm asking you, did he?
I'm not in a position to keep an eye on David's activities all day.
All right, then. The odd moment when you are in a position.
Every time I saw him, he was in a great state of suffering. That do?
No, I'm not interested in men who enjoy their suffering. Anyway, it's only to ease his conscience. If he has any conscience.
Well, what made you turn back then?
I haven't come back to Crossroads. And he came to here.
Well, why?
Oh, I don't know. To tell the truth, I don't know where the hell I am.
Well, what are you going to do?
All I know is I don't know how to do what I know I must do.
Well, I do. Let me ring him for you.
No, Joan, you mustn't. Now, I've got to think this out properly and finally, for good or for bad. Oh, also, I've got to keep tabs on him without him really knowing it.
That's easy. What you need are two things. A place that's handy for the motel, that's here, and a spy.
You mean I should hire Paul Ross?
Hire? Oh, no. Not when you've got the best brand new one in the business going free.